Welcome back to the channel and to another new episode of 5 Things You Might Not Know. This, as always, is the 101. This one is episode number 45, but as always, if you have missed any of the previous episodes, check them out on the series playlist, link on the screen. And here we go again, this time episode 45 of 5 Things You Might Not Know about WWE 2K17. So let's kick this one off with a continuation from one on the last episode. Now last time we covered this potentially lesser known charge dive animation which takes place for moves such as Finn Balor's coup de grace. And today we have got another one. This time this lesser known charge animation takes place when using the Frog Splash, both for the DLC version that we have this year with Eddie Guerrero, as well as the 5-star version from 2K15 featuring RVD. Now I'm sure you will agree with me, when using RVD especially, this does look pretty badass, and is yet another small thing but a cool thing that you might not know about this year's game. Next up, another continuation of sorts, continuing on from episode 43. Now in that episode we touched on how the 2K17 cover star Brock Lesnar has the highest overall rating on both the new gen and old gen version of the game, albeit joined on the new gen version with Stone Cold Steve Austin. However, as it turns out, that is not quite as accurate as we first thought, because despite Brock Lesnar being the highest rated wrestler on the roster, he does not have the highest overall rating on the entire game. This is because what you might not know is that manager Bobby Heenan actually takes the top spot with a rating of 96 over Brock Lesnar's 95, who then, managers in mind, finds himself rated the same as Paul Heyman. Now obviously managers and wrestlers usually differ in terms of the rating scale, so it's not necessarily a big thing, but it is a thing that you might not know nonetheless. It's also worth pointing out that despite this being the case on the new gen version, this is not the case on the last gen version, with managers instead having a more regular rating. Next up with thing number 3, we're now covering another finisher into finisher, more specifically another Tombstone into a Tombstone. Now previously in the series we have covered 2 of these, those being the reversal of the standard Tombstone as seen here, as well as the leaping Tombstone that you can see now. However, what you might not know is that there is a third slightly different version, with this one taking place via the Owen Hart sit-out Tombstone pole driver. As normal, this occurs via the mid-move reversal, and there's yet another finisher into finisher and finisher out of nowhere that we can add to the very awesome list. From a Tombstone into a Tombstone, we're now going to a reversal into a reversal. As another thing that you might not know is that despite many of us wanting 2K to add a proper counter to counter feature into the series, these on a small scale already exist in 2K17. That is right, counters into counters are indeed a thing on the current game, and here we've got 2 examples. Now in this first one, you can see Kalisto going for a running grapple on Brock Lesnar, only for Lesnar to counter it into a German suplex, of which that counter cannot be countered as seen here. Likewise, in a similar situation with Edge, Edge reverses a running grapple, only for his reversal, the flapjack, to then get reversed. This one only takes place on the rare occasion, but it is a thing in the current game. Pretty cool nonetheless, and can create some nice moments, so hopefully we'll see this expanded on in future games in the 2K series. And last up today with our 5th and final inclusion, we have got a lesser known extreme moment. Now already in this series we have covered a bunch of similar fun stuff, from lesser known ladder spots to OMG moment combos. And today something similar, with this time the still steps coming into play with a super extreme rock bottom. So this one is pretty fun as well as super simple, and all you need to do is set the ladder up in this position, make sure the top of the still steps has been removed, then hit your finisher, in this case the rock bottom, with the rock as you normally would. And there you go, as you can see, a very brutal super rock bottom onto the still steps, which makes for a pretty badass bonus OMG moment for The Rock. And there we go with that one, another episode completed, which now takes the series total to 225. So let me know in the comments if any of today's feature 5 things were new for you. Plus, as always, if you've enjoyed today's episode, which hopefully you have, then a like rating would be awesome to see. Stay tuned for another new episode of the series coming very, very soon. And with that said, until next time, this has been 101, and I will see you all on the next one.